Welcome to Week in Vinyl. This is the Week in Vinyl YouTube channel, and this is one of the first videos. I figured what better day to do it on than Black Friday Record Store Day. So here we are. It's the afternoon of Record Store Day. I took part this morning. I went at 7 o'clock and stood in line at the closest record store to me, which isn't necessarily the best one. There's two locations to this particular store, and the one that's closest to me, they don't get as much because there's not as many people. There's one closer to Nashville that gets a majority of the Record Store Day drops, and I knew this going in, and I looked at the list beforehand like everybody else, and there was only a handful of things that I really wanted. Last night for Thanksgiving, I took a look online, and a couple of record stores had posted what they got, and some of them had the prices on them. And so that kind of told me what I wanted to get. I didn't want to go crazy, but there was also, 3 or 4 things that I had a list, and I whittled it down based off of after seeing the prices of some of the stuff. I'm mainly a rock guy, but I do stray outside the rock world with some alt country and some punk and just stuff like that. So what I wanted was the Duff McKagan live. There was the Stone Temple Pilots. That was just some rarities. I wanted the Doors live after seeing a description of what it was. And there was the Van Halen live from 1991. And there was the Motley Crue single box set from the Dr. Feelgood album. And ultimately, I went through my list and I crossed off the things. Record Store Day is notorious for live stuff and stuff that's already been out on other formats. And, sometimes it's it's like, oh, Record Store Day, I got to get it all. And, you get it, and then you never listen to it. So I've done that. Like every Record Store Day, there's a Doors release. And for the first few that I participated in, I was getting the Doors because I like the Doors. And then it just became like, why am I getting this? This is like, especially the LA Woman series there, where there was like 4 or 5 different discs of them in the studio. It was cool and everything, but at the same time, I'm not going to listen to that whole thing ever again. That was a one-time and done type deal. And so this particular time, there's, of course, a Doors release, and it after reading the description, which is this one, it was recorded May 8th, 1970 in Cabo Arena, Detroit, Michigan. It's one of the longest Doors shows ever caught on tape, including a 17-minute version of The End, a real rarity among recorded live shows. Available for the first time on vinyl. And after seeing some videos on YouTube or reading up on this, it was definitely something that that sounded really cool and was different. This is something I would probably listen to more than once. And apparently this was on CD a long time ago, but it's hard to find. And so I just thought it was kind of cool. And it's four LPs. And I was expecting $100 for this thing, just because the last Record Store Day had the Van Halen Live Right Here, Right Now, and that was over $100. So I was figuring $100. When I saw one record store post theirs, they were posting it for $80. So I was like, wow, that's definitely that's doable. And so then I got to my record store and it was 89. So I was like, well, $10, and I had whittled everything down. So I was like, that's fine. The next thing I wanted was the Stone Temple Pilots Purple outtakes. Now, I already have this. I've got the Rhino release. I've got several different versions of this record. And the Purple Rarities was on a CD in one of those Rhino releases. But, I rarely listen to CDs. I'm more of a vinyl guy. So I was like, well, I'll go ahead and get it. Plus, this was $28.99. I think some places had it for $25. So again, not much over the average price, but it was still a little bit more expensive than what I thought it was going to be. And then it was a toss-up. I wanted to get the Van Halen Live. That one actually came in cheaper. I can't remember now what it was. It was like 42 maybe. So that was kind of surprising. I figured it would be way more. But I've got that on the Carnal Knowledge that was just released. I think it's a DVD. So, it's like it's getting all these doubles and it's just adding up, and I'm running out of space, to be honest. I mean, you can only have so many records of the same thing. And then I was flipping through the short bins at this one, and I came across Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I knew that this was being released, but in the moment when you're being rushed and all of that, I was like, this isn't a record store day release? I'm like, what is going on? But it was the independent store release, and for whatever reason they stuck it in the record store day releases. But I was aware that it was happening and I wanted it, but I didn't really need it. But I saw it and I was like, well, I'll go ahead and get this because I had crossed something else off the list. This is pressed from the soundboard cassette, recorded by the band engineer, and it's a 2,000. There's only 2,000 of these that were made in orange wisp vinyl. It was a 1982 Long After Dark tour concert. So I figured, and I had seen where they had mastered this from the cassette, and I think I saw a comment where they were complaining, people were complaining online about it not being on CD, and the Tom Petty page, whoever runs that, they responded and they said that the tape to CD didn't sound good, but the tape to vinyl sounded excellent. So, it's probably the analog to analog thing. So that was cool, and I'm a big Tom Petty fan, so, add it to the stack of live stuff that I've got from him. The one thing that I passed on, because what really angered me, was the Motley Crue 7-inch box set. It was the 5 singles from the Dr. Feelgood album, and I've actually got those on cassette single, and I thought it would be cool because I like to collect the 45 picture sleeves. I've got quite a few. They're right behind me over here, and I thought it'd be cool. It came in a box set, and it matched the other box set that they just released Friday on last week on the Feel Good album. But it was $80, and I don't care. I don't care how cool it is or how cool it was. Like $80 for 5 LPs, for 5 45s with one song on each side. $80. I paid $100 for the box set of the Dr. Feelgood release that just came out, because it had the demos and it had the live album, you know, and it had a bunch of other stuff on it, and that was worth $100. So you're charging $80 for something that's a lot less, you know, a lot less content and a lot less everything else, music, all that. So they had like 3 copies, and I passed on it. You know, it's just like I said, I'm not paying $80 for something that's just going to sit on my shelf and collect dust. No, thank you. So I thought that was a bummer. You know, that was a letdown. That's basically all that I got this time around. Like I said, there was more stuff that I wanted that wasn't available at the store. I could have gone to the other one. They would have been open by the time I got there, but you know, maybe they would have had more stock. They probably had more stock, but I was happy with what I got, and what I spent was about what I wanted to spend. So I was like, I'm good. So I hope you guys got everything that you wanted. You know, put in the comments what you thought about today, and let me know. And then subscribe to my channel and like the channel and the video and all the stuff that you have to do to get YouTube's algorithm going. And you know, I'll have more videos because I've got a lot more things that I want to say, and a lot more things I want to review and things like that. So thank you, and have a good one.